of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
It's on? Yes. Well, it's on.
Good evening and welcome to another Comfort Stone. I am your host, Mr. B. Tyler. With me as always, I have my brother Fat Killer Abdulaziz, Lord Holy Apostle Dean, the Holy Queen Mother Rabbi Salim. May I ease his peace and other blessings be within the watch of presence. I want to greet all those who watch this program. I have believers. May I ease his peace and other blessings be within the watch of presence as well. You may hear some laughter, a little bit of humor, coughing. We have an audience behind us here. I want to wish everybody there, may I ease his peace and other blessings be with a bunch of presence.
We got a new cameraman back there. He didn't know how to tell us that we was on. He put us out here, man. You know, usually I be joking on Urbanversity. I had moments we try to be more serious, but he just started us off like a joke. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay, it's cool.
He's learning, so you know, young man, you know.
It ain't his fault. I seen him up there with his hand like this, and I'm like, it's on?
Yeah, but we hope that you continue to watch our program and be enjoying the information that's being presented to you. And one of the things we want to get in maybe to this evening is a discussion about how many people all profess religious backgrounds, profess to believe in the Lord Most High, but how many of them really exactly take the Lord as being real and eminent and present in their daily lives. Like I said, most people deal with their relationship with their Lord only on their days of worship, Sunday, Friday, or Saturday, whatever house you belong to. But to the extent of that, then they go about their work week or they work their week, period, dealing as the Lord is now somewhere on his throne, sitting above the arch and everything, or the Lord is not here and present in conversation or present in the active and daily life. So with that, we try to bring focus to the people and to reality the Lord has given us from His supreme self about its nearness. It's completely like Allah says in the Quran, for example, it is nearer to you than your jugular vein. But Muslims don't believe that because Allah, they believe that you can go into the restrooms and say whatever, do whatever, because the Lord doesn't come, or it's only there in this knowledge, or they separate it from its presence altogether. So, you know, with that, you know, brothers, Holy Queen, Holy Apostle.
Well, let me. I usually let your co-host go ahead, but let me just interject this here. First of all, let's stop referring to it as Lord.
Okay.
Okay, because we got a lot of audience, a lot of people that, you know, when you say Lord, they start thinking about other things and other beings that they call Lord, like Jesus, for instance.
Yeah.
You see people with bumper stickers saying Jesus is Lord, and it's almost like it's a battle. You know,
right.
Yeah, Jesus was a Lord,
Mm-hmm.
and Muhammad was a Lord. All the prophets were lords. They were made lords by the Lord Most High while they were here. All those who were intertwined or unified with the Lord Most High by the very act of them being unified with the Lord in mind and presence, recognition, that in itself made them the Lord. The Lord established them as a Lord. And if you notice, I keep emphasizing was.
Right.
And I was saying in the other show, you know, they act as though Jesus and Muhammad is here alive. And they are as dead, just as dead as you see a bird fly down and die. They are that dead from this world. You know? Now that's not to disrespect the prophets of old. You understand? We're all going to be dead one day. Now we have this thing, and I didn't anticipate speaking so long, but there's one other thing that I just would like for us to address in this show, and that is this thing of how can I say it? I don't want to insult them, but it is sacrilegious that you would call on your ancestors as though they have power. You know? And it's a shame that the people calling themselves Africans want to associate with Africa and always talking about, and you got Muslims doing it too. Talking about calling on their ancestors when Muslims have been taught that it is a direct violation to call on anything or anyone aside from Allah. Now Allah has raised me up in unity with it, and it has appointed Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, to be with me, and it has allowed me to be introduced in knowing of my guardian angel Joseph, and I have communicated many times with various angels and people that you would consider beings of the dead from the human group. You understand? And it has, and no matter who it allows to speak to me, it told me to refer to it and not to them, because it wants me to continually realize that it is the reality of all things. So you call on your ancestors, you call on something that can't help themselves. Right. You call on something that, with them being alive in the life hereafter, if they've made the paradise or a place where they can communicate with you, right, they're still dependent upon the Creator. They're still dependent upon the ultimate reality, the ultimate source of life, the ultimate source of power, the reality of power. They still is totally dependent upon that. So why would you call on something aside from that which gives life to everything? Life and understanding and knowledge and wisdom and vision and insight, so forth and so on. Why would you call on something else? And why would you call your people to call on something else? Is it that you so-called African inclined people just want to reject the law, like so many of the Christians and other people just want to reject the law, don't want to call Allah's name? And I understand that the Muslims, by what the Lord has said to me, has desecrated its name. And in this time, the Lord don't waste anything. In this day and time, the new day of judgment, the day of revelation, which was promised to us, the Lord and this balance has brought forth a new name, just like it promised it would do. And it has placed that name. Any of you have understanding about revelation, it has placed that name on my being and confirmed to me that this is its new name, which is A.H.A.D, with meaning, beauty, and power. So that's, you know, we can kind of like hit on that. That would be nice too.
But I had wanted to, in your speaking, wanted to address why you talk about the people all across the world, it seems, generations and cultures of people who would want to call on anything other than A.H.A.D, or whether it's their ancestors, whether it's the prophets of old, you know. Is that, I was just wondering, is there a disconnect? Is they basically, I was going to ask, do they fear calling on A.H.A.D? Do they fear calling on the true supreme Lord of all worlds and all things?
No.
Or is there a subconscious rejection?
They don't fear it.
Rejection is just that. Rejection. Yeah. Just like people have a problem saying Holy Apostle David.
Yeah.
And now that's his legal name.
Right.
And people look at that name and skip the holy.
Some call me Holly.
Yes.
I'm like, Holly? How you get Holly out of holy? Where you go to school?
They say, and everybody knows the Holy Bible, so you can't even mistake that, that for Holly. But that's people. The thing is, I was observing Sunday. I was driving to my daughter's house, and so many people, I cannot even begin to tell you. It had to be in the hundreds of people was coming out of the A.M.E. church. And I said, wow. And before I got there, I came past the Metropolitan. And I said, so many people go to church on Sunday, every Sunday. And I said, why is it that the
world is so
forget the work. Why is our state of our community is so bad that we have so many people that truly believe? No, it's like with everything else in life, people take things for benefit.
Right.
Right.
If they see no benefit in it,
And they don't take to it.
they don't take it. It ain't like they take what is given to them whole.
Yeah.
Heartedly. They don't do that. They take what benefits. And even in our own community, people have come, people have gone,
Yeah.
people have stayed, and that's because of the benefit.
Right.
Once there's no more benefit, people like,
Once they can't see the benefit,
yeah,
because
once they,
the benefit
right,
is always there.
Once they
Right.
no longer see the benefit, it's like adios amigos. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how the way of the world is. So it's not that they don't want to call A.H.A.D name, or want they see to them saying God. You
Yeah, that's
know,
what it says.
it's like, what is a God? You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? God don't have no heavy. Jesus got more of a heavy meaning to the people than God.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's why you'll have people that say, oh, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Now they said that God was the father of Jesus and God did this and everything, but people call on Jesus. You
Well, they
understand?
put it out that you don't need the Father.
Right.
They put that out. That's what the
Yeah.
devil put out. You don't need the Father if you got the Son, and the Son is destined to inherit heaven, paradise. So by Jesus being dead from this world, the claim must be that he has inherited paradise. Therefore, the Father is dead. You understand? And it's no different from the Muslims who, when you know they say they believe in Allah and the unseen, and you start speaking about Allah, and then they say you spooky.
Yeah.
Or they'll say,
And they act as though Muhammad is greater than Allah, and that you should never mention Allah without mentioning Muhammad.
right,
Right.
they sure do. You
And
say
they are
Allah,
out of their mind.
you say Allah, they say, what the panel
That's all along there.
She really didn't forget.
I forget, but I
It's
know
a
that
shame, though,
they
yeah.
always say Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? They always say
That's why
it. And they will not they don't even
Well,
separate it in their prayers.
She was saying something the other day. You know, I mean, she was telling about they say depending on what I'm like, yeah, I'm ratting on you on camera. She ratting on me on another show. And she was talking about someone who received the blessings from Allah. And she was saying about the blessing, and she said, that's alhamdulillah. And then she mentioned the blessing again, said, that's alhamdulillah. And I heard somebody else, and you know the person who always say it, but you know Allah instructs us, A.H.A.D instructs us to speak English.
Right.
To speak English, to receive His word in English, to pray to it in English, to communicate with it in English, to communicate with others about it in English, you know? And I tried to hold back from saying things because I was driving an automobile and she was steadily saying, that's alhamdulillah, that's alhamdulillah. And I turned to her and I said, please let me not be angry. Because she don't hear herself. We was just talking about association, manifest, assimilation. And this particular person, she's been associating with quite a bit lately. And here she go, well, that's alhamdulillah, right? And I said, dear, why don't you speak in English so you'll know what you're saying? You know, I said, you saying this person received this blessing, that's alhamdulillah. That blessing ain't no alhamdulillah. I'm just saying, her association took her off because she usually speaks in English. I said, now, at first she wanted to get angry with me. But she looked at me and she thought about it. She knew I was telling the truth. I said, if you say it in English, you'll know you're not making sense.
Right.
This person received 5 pounds of potatoes. That's a praise be to Allah. What sense does that make? It don't make no sense. Now, if you say, praise be to Allah, that person received 5 pounds of potatoes.
Right now,
Now it makes sense.
Right.
It wasn't about potatoes, people. It was about something else.
Right, but just
You understand what I'm saying? So, and she thanked me later.
Yeah.
You know,
And
but we get off track. We
Right.
gotta get away from speaking stuff we don't understand.
One thing, how those who are Muslim would use that term, alhamdulillah, that's a reflection of how the Arabic language itself is turned into some kind of mystical talisman. Like
Yeah, it is for them. They think that it's magical. I mean, I have literally seen people mean and nasty go up to the masjid. I ain't talking about today, I'm talking about during the times of Elijah. And when they got up to the masjid, they became holier than thou. Their whole personality, their spirit, everything changed. And they went in the masjid, which we call a mosque back then.
Right.
You know? And then they come out, and the further away they get from the mosque, the more they went back to that niggerism. And I say, wow, what's up with these people?
The same thing the Christians in the churches on Sunday.
Same thing. You can't tell me. That's why we was talking about identity. She was talking about you can identify with the Muslim women, but I was saying you can identify with all the women, the Christian women. You know, because 90% of the people out here is Christian.
Yeah.
You understand? And they gaining in faith because they let homosexuals in, and you know the gay girls and the gay guys, and you know, man. And so it's everything's acceptable. They the ones said Jesus made everything whole. Jesus made everything good. So forget about Allah destroying A.H.A.D or God the Father destroying Sodom and Gomorrah. Forget about that. God made a mistake, right, Christians? Evidently, this is what they're saying, that God made a mistake. The God the Father must have made a mistake by killing them people in Sodom and Gomorrah.
They take the other turn.
Changed.
No, they make the same mistake as people before. They take that the Lord is all forgiving. We'll accept everyone in because it's gonna forgive everyone and everything of sin, short.
No, you know it's the devil.
I know that, but I know that, but you know that
they overlook what they read in the Bible. The Bible haven't been changed.
No,
so how have they changed their philosophy? How are they changing their dialogue?
Oh, they draw numbers in. Right. People that's bringing them more money.
Oh yeah, you know that, I know that, but I'm saying how can they justify it when everything is still written the same?
Yeah. Well, they can easily justify it when you have the capital religion, which is Catholic, what is it? Christianity, Catholicism. When you have the Pope, who have allowed his priests to remain as priests, knowing that they rape children. So it always started at the top.
But you know what, dear? Listen, there's nothing they could show me that could justify them changing their dialogue, changing their communication of the Lord's words, when the Lord had John, not Nostradamus, not any of the people from the Hindus or the Mayans, you understand? But John, the one they call the divine, gave to him a clear description of the Pope, the nuns and their priests and the people and what they would be doing today. They are the devil. They are the servants of the devil. Right. And Allah has called them cursed names in the Bible itself. So how can they justify even looking up to the Pope?
No, it's no justification.
No, it's not.
The whole thing is everything do start from that top. And so you have to look at the top as being even, it trickles on down. But just like I say about college, university, or whatever you want to call it, religion is big business.
But let me say this here. Christians who consider themselves straight up Christians do not believe in Catholicism.
Oh, we know that.
And they do not bow to the Pope.
We know that.
And they do not agree with the Pope. And they do not agree with canonism.
We know that.
Or canonization.
Right.
But
you understand? So here again, I'm saying they can't justify doing what they're doing other than saying, I am of the devil. Which they will never say it until the very end after. When they're forced to say it. But this world is in bad shape now because people don't want to listen to the word of truth. They don't want to accept what Nostradamus and many other prophets had brought to this, to the forefront of the minds of the people. And Nostradamus was a Jew who tried to bring it to his people, and they wanted to kill him. They chased him from one land to another land, and then they want to make like he was just a philosopher and a healer and a soothsayer. They still, you got devils like Penn and Teller still, and a lot of others still trying to denounce what he said when they see all these different things came right on time with what he was saying. Well, he said Hitler. He couldn't have meant Hitler. If it was Hitler, he could have said Hitler.
Right.
Yeah, he could have. Just like he could have called New York instead of the new city, or he could have called this New York the new city, where the big buildings and the new city is being, because New York still ain't being renewed. New York is being renewed. And it is in the area that he said it would be. On the latitude and longitude. He said where it would be. And then
we'll blow up and out to that new city.
You know, so all those things, it's just that they don't want to surrender to the Lord Most High. They find difficulty in dealing with truth, just like people in this community. Just like people in all communities. They have difficulty dealing with truth because the path of the way to truth has always been a stringent path. Even when you go into the light of Christ, where most of these Christians lie about, talking about they're enlightened and talk about they know Jesus and all that, them liars. When you go into the light of Christ, which I have been in, it is a crushing, a devastating, and awesome experience. And you're not going to be the same when you come out of that. And in the light of Christ, you're going to either be purified and raised to the Lord Most High, to the creator of being, the reality of being, and shown His magic, His mysteries, His light and His darkness, and given the balance of creation to understand and recognize, or you're going to be destroyed. Now, I see these people running around here falsifying the Bible, the Holy Quran, and what have you, talking about they enlightened, or they with Allah, they with Muhammad, or they with Jesus and what have you. But I hear them speaking the devil's language. So how is that? And then when we come with truth, oh, they bow, yeah, that's right. But there's always a but at the end. But, you know, and then just by me emphasizing about Jesus being dead. Jesus is dead. I gotta say it 1,000 times. He is dead. Jesus is dead. And if he wasn't dead, why would you be looking for him to come back? You know what I'm saying? And they try to act like Jesus is an angel, and he could get around to everybody in the world.
It's almost like the Santa Claus in the Christmas.
It's
everybody out with the gifts. You know?
Yeah, man, and it's pathetic. It's a shame. You know, it's a shame. And I wish the people would stop identifying Elijah Muhammad as bringing Islam, because Elijah Muhammad did not bring Islam. Elijah Muhammad brought nationhood, fellowship, love. He brought what came from Christianity on a higher level, on a truer level, to bring the slaves, the people of slave mentality, back to a recognition of themselves, their own selves, and kind. To love their own selves and kind. The Caucasians went around talking about he's teaching hate because he was telling the truth about their forefathers and those who were present at that time, still at this time. They were saying he was teaching hate when he was not teaching hate. He was teaching simple truth, worldly truth about what was going down. But his main aim was to bring us into the people, the African American slaves, descendants, into a recognition of themselves, a love of themselves. And I say this and I give it up. I say this, anybody who went against that was all about hate. Anybody who went against it was all about hate. How could you tell a people not to love themselves? How could you tell your children not to love themselves? How can you not tell them not to unify, not to work together, try to build a nation, try to build a better world for themselves? Because if they do that for themselves, then they could do it for other people. But no, you was never satisfied. You prefer the Crips and the Bloods and the Nietos and all these gangs out here. That's what you prefer. You prefer them, you white devil, because you want to have the opportunity to kill them. And you're doing a good job of it. If you ain't killing them physically, you killing them mentally and spiritually. And you know what you're doing. And you got your white, you got your bourgeois blacks who think they white, and many of them mixed up with them genes too. That's right behind you because they think they got some advantage. They don't realize that you are the devil's servant and you are just like the devil. And in the end, when there's no need for them, you gonna throw them and throw them in the trash heap. Just like the devil gonna do you at the end. You know?
Yes.
You're very proud.
The truth is the light, man. They was the hate mongers. And they hated that Elijah was telling us to love ourselves. Oh, they accepted it from James Brown because he looked like a fool. He had his head cocked like them. They knew that he wanted to be one of them.
And you know what?
So they let us go with it. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. And it was all right. Because as long as you black and you proud and you conquer your head, we know you still lost. And I used to be concerned about when I would change my name. Oh man, I'm gonna catch hell from them Caucasians. They don't really know me now, but they watching me, but they don't really know me now. Oh man, they gonna give me hell when I change my name. And I changed my name for business purposes first, back in the 70s. Man, all them Caucasians bowed down. They bowed down. They said, he know himself. What can we do with him? You know who I caught the hell from? The ones that minister, that fake lordly holy minister over in New York keep talking about don't speak the truth about nigger. Charlton. Yeah. It was the niggas that gave me the trouble. The niggas. How can you? The black niggas, the African American niggas, because we got Caucasian niggas too. I ain't confused about a nigga. You know? But the thing about it was, it's them black niggas. How can you change your name? Oh, he Muslim. I had relatives. Oh, he called himself A.H.A.D. You know, I talked to my father. I said, Dad, you have a problem with me changing my name? He said, no, son. I said, look, Dad, I want you to understand. I honor my name, Samuel. I said, it's a beautiful name. I said, I don't care what I put on paper. I am still Samuel. You name me that, it has great meaning. The strength of the Lord, which most people think it means the Lord has heard. Either way, it's involved with the Lord El. And you gave me a beautiful name, and I will always honor it. But my Lord, our master dad told me to change my name to this. And my father understood that. And sometimes my father called me Rashad, or sometimes he called me Dean, or sometimes he called me Sam. It didn't matter. If he called me, hey you, I would have answered respectfully the same as I always did. It did not matter. And people used to call me Sam, they refused to call me by my name. You call me Sam, things gonna upset me, didn't know I still honor Samuel. That's who I am, that's who I was in the life past. I still honor that honorable name that came out of the Bible. They can't get me angry, but let me just say this. I had this lady, she was a doctor. You know, I had some doctors that were my students for a while, about 8 years, you know, and but I had one who was wondering why these doctors and these, you know, different people, you know, professionals at this high level coming to this man, you know, and she came to me and she knew my name from before I changed it legally, but by now I had changed it. Forget the business, I changed the whole name. I was waiting to get the right wife to change my name too. You know, that's part of my problem for not changing my name. I didn't want to violate anything and put some woman who wasn't right with Allah in that name. Because I fear Allah and I honor Allah, you know, and I take what Allah has given me as sacred, you know, right down to my name. I believe that you are responsible for the name that you bear, the name that you tell people to call you. You say, I'm Abdullah, you're a servant of Allah. What kind of servant of Allah? Because everything is a servant of Allah. You know, I'm Abdullah, whatever, you know, Ali. Oh, I'm a servant of Allah, the most exalted. Okay, what are you doing in light of being exalted and being a servant of Allah? Exalted in what? You see, you have to understand that your name is something you take into the throne of judgment when the Lord is going to ask you about your name, that which is your title, your representation, and how you bore it in this life and what you did with it. But I told this lady before I changed my name by Allah's command to Holy Apostle Dean. I told her, well, I changed my name to Dean Salim. She said, what? I can't say. I said, you gonna sit up there and tell me, with all your education, that you can't say Dean? I said, you've been working in this university for about 20 years. And you see deans in the offices, and you call the deans of these different graduate schools all the time, and now you're going to try to tell me you can't say dean. I know where you coming from. You a hater of truth. You a hater. Oh, no, yes you are. My Lord has just revealed you to me for you to tell me that it's harder to say dean than it is to say Samuel. How many people say Samuel right in this country? It's always Samuel.
That's what they say.
And you gonna tell me Dean is harder to say than Samuel? Get out my face. And don't, as a matter of fact, don't even talk to me no more. You know? I wouldn't even talk to the woman no more.
You want to do things right. To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you